So I just got my first jab here in Singapore. In Singapore, they call it a jab. In America, I think they'd call it a first dose of a vaccine. And my arm was quite sore the first day, but now by day 3, I can move it. It's all good. And I'm really thankful I don't have any side effects really, except I was really fatigued. Like yesterday, I did sleep for 2 hours because I was quite tired. But aside from that, I feel okay. So the vaccine that I got here in Singapore is called, I think it's called Community, if I'm pronouncing it right. It could be Community, but I believe it's Community. And it is basically the same as Pfizer. They have the same components as Pfizer, and it was manufactured in Europe, but I think that it's just the label is different. So that's what they say. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, it's a 2-dose thing, and I'm gonna have the second one in 4 weeks. So in Singapore, the vaccine was available to frontline workers first, then Singapore citizens, those who have wanted to get it, I think have all gotten it probably. Of course, senior citizens too, sorry. And now, starting July 2nd, they opened it up to permanent residents and long-term visitor pass holders. So I'm a permanent resident. I'm not a citizen here. So finally I was able to get it, or at least make an appointment for it. And so I'm really thankful. Yeah. And you know, I know every country, the system's really different. I'm not going to be comparing to America much because I'm not in America to experience the vaccine system. And I know that every state has a different kind of administration of the vaccine, but I'll just talk about Singapore because I'm here for those who might be interested in what the system's like. In Singapore, it's all run by the government, so there's no I think it's pretty uniform. So I think what I share might be likely a similar experience to what other Singaporeans or what the whole island is experiencing regarding vaccines. Yeah, so I'll start off with talking about the registration process, and then I'll go into my vaccine experience. So the registration was really simple. It was on an app, or I think I forget if I registered online or on my phone. In any case, though, it was really fast. The whole process took a good 4 minutes or 5 minutes. So I just registered, put all my particulars. Then they said they'll contact me when I can, register for my appointment. So they send me a text, yeah, and then through that there's a private link. It's a link that has your registration particulars already filled in, I guess. So I just click on that link, and then I had a certain amount of dates, window in which I could choose when to get my vaccine, first dose and second dose, and they're 4 weeks apart. So I just click on the calendar dates and then click, and then it's settled, and you choose a location. So I got my vaccine at our Tampines hub. That's where I decided to get it. And yeah, now I'll go into that section. So basically the registration was really, really user-friendly and simple. That's something I really value in apps, is user-friendliness. I can't handle things when you can't find things. That drives me nuts. So I'm really happy that they organized it, and it's a universal system, I guess, in Singapore for that registration. It's really easy to also change your appointment. So if you want to change dates or something, you just do it through the app and it's automatic. I love good user-friendly apps. Love. Now on to the experience itself. So I went to our Tampines hub. It's an arena, yeah, the place where it was administered. It's in the big community center, and within that community center there's a hockey arena. So that was my location. There's a lot of other locations across Singapore, but that's the one that I chose. And then I walked in, there's these huge fans, ventilating the area. I'm sure it's like that in other places you get vaccinated, but yeah, that's what I noticed, huge fans everywhere just blowing wind, And in general though, the whole process was super organized. Yeah, so I just want to talk about that because I was quite impressed. I really value organization. I like things efficient. So it made my day to see that things were properly thought out, So basically, when I walked in, the first thing you do is they give you a number. You have this like number, like a ticket number. Then you go sit in a certain area for registration. When you're sitting for registration, there's like healthcare worker of some sort comes by and asks you a few like medical questions, like are you pregnant or something like that. Then when your number's called, you go to register. Register is like a line of registration people, I guess, or personnel who help you to register that you arrived and then ask you a few other medical questions. Then after registration, then you're kind of guided, I would say, or herded, there's other people too, to another section, which is waiting for the vaccine. So everything's like roped off, like registration area with hundreds of chairs. There was a lot of chairs all spread out, you know, and everyone's there. Then you get herded off to the vaccine waiting area, which you wait for, I probably waited 10 minutes or so. And then they like call your number again and your whole line of people get up and then wait in line. And then you go into this like vaccine temporary room. I mean, there's a lot of them. I don't know how many, 30 plus, I don't know. A lot of these little temporary tent room things like in the arena, and then you get your vaccine. So basically the person who did my vaccine, he was really professional, very polite, and yeah, just kind of like, yeah, he just gave me the jab, and surprisingly, yeah, it didn't hurt too bad. It didn't go as deep as I thought. I mean, I've gotten blood drawn out in the past, you know, IV and everything. So I hate needles. I don't like needles. I don't know anybody who likes them, but you know, I was worried, like, what if this really hurts? And sometimes when it hurts, I start like singing and stuff because like I have to like focus on something else. But actually for this, I didn't have to go and break out into a song or anything. I just it just got in. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it, and then it was really fast, no blood, nothing, and I felt okay at that time. And then after that, you're kind of not herded, sorry, like escorted out to go to an observation area. It's another roped off area to be observed for about 30 minutes, where you just basically sit there and watch some kind of like vaccine information media videos or something that they just have as like random entertainment. Nobody's really watching that. Everyone's like on their phones, like just killing the time. After 30 minutes, I think they just observe you to see like, do you pass out? Do you have bad side effects immediately? Then they can like rescue you. I really don't know clearly what they're observing. I just thinking they're observing if you're okay, you know, right after the jab. Then after 30 minutes, everybody's alive still. So then you go to this like, I think it's like a, what's it called? Like a dismissal area or something, where the guy just gives you last words of advice, like no strenuous activity or something like that. And he's trying to yell over these like big fans, which was kind of funny. But in any case, he just tells you a few words of, you know, and then your vaccine, you know, come back in 4 weeks or whatever he shouted at you, and then okay, you're dismissed, bye. So then you like leave the arena. So like the whole process took about, I think it took me about 40 minutes to 50 minutes or so, but it was really, really organized. There was enough manpower and people like herding you and guiding you, and it's a really well thought out process. I could tell it was really organized, so I never felt like lost or like felt insecure or something like while I was there. So yeah, it was, you know, it was a positive first jab experience, and yeah, so I feel thankful that now that it's opened up to permanent residents, I'm really thankful for that, and I'm thankful for the efficient system that I experienced, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the second jab. So I also wanted to share, just like, because some might be interested in like what Singapore is going through as a country regarding like COVID. So right now we're in phase 3. It's called phase 3 heightened alert. I know every country has like a different name for these things, but ours is called heightened alert phase 3. Singapore is still pretty conservative about masks, as in we all wear masks, like still indoors and outdoors, it's all completely mask. What I mean is, of course in your house you're not, but if you're going into like any public place, everyone is still wearing a mask, even if you're vaccinated. So I know in America, yeah, it's pretty controversial. I know that in some states, people don't really want to wear a mask, so they don't. Actually, Singapore is probably the most fast-paced, I guess, vaccination system in all of Southeast Asia. But of course, it's not up to par to America or other developed countries. In Singapore right now, their goal is to administer vaccines to 2/3 of the population. So Singapore is like about, I think it's like 5.8 million people live in Singapore right now. They want to administer about 2/3, like everybody to have 2 doses by August 9th. So August 9th is Singapore's National Day. It's like Singapore's Liberation Day from Malaysia. In history, it's like 4th of July type thing. So they want to, their goal is to administer like all those vaccines so that 2/3 of the population are vaccinated till then. And if you ask me, I don't think the mask thing in Singapore will be lifted anytime soon. Even by August, I don't see that changing. I think Singapore will probably have us wear masks until the whole population's like pretty much vaccinated. However, from what I heard on the news, they will start to like lessen some restrictions or allow vaccinated people to do certain activities together, like if you're vaccinated. I don't know how other countries, like I guess you show what, a certificate or something that you're vaccinated. I guess everybody has that in their country. Here in Singapore, what we have is, we did get this like little certificate thing, but I don't think I'll be carrying that around probably. What we have here is an app, the Trace Together app. Then it shows, your vaccine status. So instead of carrying like a certificate around or something, you can just show them on the app, okay, in progress means you have 1 dose, or I'm fully vaccinated. So in the future, probably we'll be like waving our phone or something to show that if we want to go to a concert or something of vaccinated people's gathered together, if the government allows, then then you just show them your phone that you're vaccinated and verify that. So I think that's what they'll do. Oh yeah, the thing I really want to share about, actually, there's one last thing about the experience of getting my vaccination. It's kind of like an embarrassing thing to say, but I started getting teary. I couldn't pinpoint why I was getting teary, like moved. It was a very strange feeling when I got into the arena with all the people and stuff, like why I was suddenly kind of teary. And it took me a while to process and understand why I was feeling that way. I think the reason when I thought about it was I was seeing something that I'd never seen before, like in my entire existence on this earth, like, which was like, it was such a huge, like, I don't know, unity of frontline workers, nurses, working with the government, with the people, to administer this like vaccine process, hopefully to save lives. And it was to work together in this harmonious, unified way to hopefully save more people through this vaccine. I think that's kind of what moved me. And also maybe the feeling that I was seeing something like I might never see again after COVID's done, like this mass like coming together for kind of like a common purpose, a common good of a nation. And just the fact of like being a part of history or seeing history in the making, I think made me teary. I took some pictures, because it's like something I would show my kids, like back in the day, when you were 1, this is what mommy went through. And it's maybe something that we'll never experience again in our lifetimes, this pandemic, and hopefully not. So I think that is what made me kind of teary getting my first vaccine. It was surreal, like just that sense of like, I'm seeing something in history. Yeah, I'm seeing something that I might never see again. I've never seen, and I might never see again after this whole COVID thing's over. I don't know if that really makes sense, and I don't know if that's weird, but that's just how I felt at that time. In any case, that is kind of like my COVID vaccine experience and kind of the recent situation that I'm experiencing here in Singapore. And I really miss my family in America. I hope I can go back sometime. I really miss my family. So anyways, thank you for listening.